What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and the stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, thanks so much for hitting the like button for us down below. If you notice our new item here, that is the actual item from the National Treasure movie, The Book of Secrets. That's the plank from the president's desk, the Resolute desk. That's the puzzle piece that they used to help find the City of Gold. That's the actual one used from the movie with Nicolas Cage. Actually used in the movie, not a replica. So that was the item in the box. I'll link you to the video that was before this where we gave away the $1,000 and who the winners are when we opened up the box if you didn't see that yesterday. So that was the item. Pretty cool item, huh? So yeah, we got a lot going on here. Congress just passed two bills in the House of Representatives. Major bills here going on. That's what we do here. Keep you up to date on what's going on here in our country. But let's start with these bills here that the House of Representatives passed. We'll start with this one. Okay, number one, as you can see here, the Secure Act 2.0 has passed the House of Representatives, signaling a massive retirement savings and investment policy shift. Here are the details on this bill. The House of Representatives voted 414 to 5, meaning that both Republicans and Democrats massively supported this, securing a strong retirement act of 2022. If passed by the Senate and then signed into law by the president, which it probably will because it had such a high favor by both the House and the Senate, unless it gets stalled there for some reason, which could happen, where they end up signing a slightly different bill into law or something. The act could represent a massive economic policy shift regarding retirement savings and investments. The retirement savings, known as the Secure Act 2.0, expands on the original Secure Act, including provisions to boost the RMDs, known as the required minimum distributions age, from 72 to 75 over time, and to broaden automatic enrollment in retirement plans and enhance 403Bs. I believe they're going to start when people join at new employers, they're going to automatically enroll them in retirement plans because a lot of people just don't join them. They don't realize that they really need to do this to save for their future, 401ks, 403bs, things like that, especially because a lot of employers actually give you a match. So a lot of employers will do things like if you put $1,000 in your 401k, they'll give you $1,000 or they'll give you $500 also towards your 401k. And a lot of people don't do that. It's literally free money towards your future self, your future retirements. You can actually take it out sometimes as well. Sometimes penalty free. Sometimes you have a penalty. It depends on your situation. But it's for you just in the future. And nowadays that pensions are going away, this is something that the average American needs to do. Of course, depending on your age. And a lot of people just don't do this. And the problem is, if you don't do this and you just go years and years and years of working and not saving for retirement, this becomes a problem for the average person. And as we all know, Social Security was designed just to be a supplement to retirement. It's not necessarily required to be a full living expenses, and that's part of the problem here. We'll get to that here in a minute on raises for Social Security, and this is one of the problems that people run into when they retire or when they end up in older age, and that there's not enough money from Social Security to live on, and a lot of people just don't have enough to survive, especially now with inflation. And this is what one of the things they want to do is automatically enroll people into 401ks and stuff, especially because a lot of employers, or good employers at least, will give you free money. They'll give you a match if you put money in your 401k. If you have a company that does that, it's really good to do that. My just generic advice would be put it into something like a stock index, a S&P 500 index or something like that. It'll grow over time. You're not, and those things will grow over time. And if you look at the history of the stock market, it goes up and down, but over the course of time, they have fantastic returns. And if you don't panic and sell at every dip in the market, your money will grow really, really well over time. Don't sell at every panic, even like when you look at like the Dow Jones index or the S&P 500 index. When we say index, it's basically a whole bunch of different stocks. Um, the Dow Jones index has like 35 stocks in there. The S&P 500 has 500 in there. Even though the stock market was down a lot yesterday, it's actually been coming up. It's had several days in a row here where it's been up dramatically, even with the war going on here. So, and when we look at like a 5-year history, the Dow Jones is around just a little bit under 35,000 now. 5 years ago, it was at 20,000. So it's close to doubling your money in only 5 years. It went from 20,000 to almost 35,000. So any money you put in only 5 years ago is close to doubling. Okay. Just to give you an idea, if you put your money in your retirement fund, your 401k or whatever it was, and you just let it sit there and grow for retirement, it's now close to doubling. Okay. And again, you see these dips along the way. Here's a big dip when the country shut down in March of 2020, but literally just a few months later, it literally just came back to normal. That's why you don't panic sell. That's kind of what they call that. This bill that was just passed in the House, Retirement Enhancement Secure Act, was the original one was passed into law by former President Donald Trump in 2019. This legislation alters the existing RMDs, the retirement saving plan, and contributions to traditional IRAs and 529 plans uses for student loans, and making annuities easier for 401k plans administrators to offers, and includes increasing the RMD age further to 73 in 2022, 74 in 29, and 75 in 2032. It also requires 401k and 403b plans to automatically enroll participants when they come eligible, though employees may opt out of this coverage, which again, you have to save for retirement. If you don't save for retirement, you'll end up like a lot of people do. They spend all the money, and then 20, 30, 40 years rolls by and they have nothing saved. If you save a little bit over time and it grows and grows over time, you can end up with a lot of money over time. There's a couple other things like the Secure Act 2.0 changes policies on catch-up limits, not mustard limits, concerning retirement plans, and indexes IRA catch-up limits to inflation beginning in 2023, student loan repayments and employer matching of such as retirement contributions, small employer pensions plans, startup credits, and collective investment trusts. Further legislation opened up opportunities for ETFs in variable annuities as well. Now, the other things kind of on the block here regarding this is for raising of Social Security benefits this year, because it's a really big year because of election year, is the Social Security 2100 Act, which would raise Social Security benefits for retirement benefits. This is being worked on by multiple different lawmakers here this year, led by Representative John B. Larson. There's about, I believe, over 200 representatives between the House and the Senate that have already backed this, and they're trying to get this passed this year. This could raise Social Security benefits to above the poverty level, as you can see right here. Protects low income workers. 5 million seniors currently live in poverty. No one who paid into the system over a lifetime should retire into poverty. The new minimum benefit would be set at 25% above the poverty line. So 125% of the poverty line, and would be tied to wage levels to ensure that the minimum benefit does not fall behind. That would equal 125% of the federal poverty line, which would be $1,341 per month. This is directly from larson.house.gov. This is part of the Social Security 2100 Act, which would raise Social Security benefits to $1,341 per month, which is a really, really big thing. And there's a lot of support in this bill. There's a lot of different things in this bill. I have some other um, videos that go over this. And the interesting thing is it actually increases the solvency time of Social Security as well. It raises taxes on wealthy individuals and corporations. Sound like a familiar thing here, to help pay for it. So, really, really good thing here. There's also another bill that could be passed this year. Again, it's a really big year because it's election year, so they're trying to, push these things that could, instead of doing that, that could just be a flat increase of benefits by $200 per month for all Social Security beneficiaries. So we could see one or the other this year as well. I'll link you to a video I just did that kind of explains this Social Security 2100 Act here, and the other one here at the end of this video with really good details here at the end of this video. And the next bill that passed in the House is a big one as well. Check this out.
On this vote, the yeas are 232, the nays are 193. The bill is passed. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Yeah, so as you can see here, I had to pause the video here just to kind of show you this here of the bill to cap the cost of insulin and a precursor to cap the cost of other prescription drugs. 220 Democrats voted yes. 2 Democrats did not vote. Only 12 Republicans in the House of Representatives voted yes. This will have to go to the Senate next. So looking a little bleak there. Although if Mitch McConnell gets behind this, it could pass because Mitch McConnell kind of has sway over the Senate, and he will need 10 votes in the Senate to pass this from the Republicans. Maybe 11 or so if one or two Democrats are not there. Sometimes you need more than one Republican to make up in case a Democrat is out, um, like we've seen here. But only 12 Republicans voted yes here to cap the cost of insulin, a life saving drug. A little bit disappointed with that. A little bit disappointed with that. 193 Republicans voted no. Actually, I got to be honest. I'm a lot disappointed with that. Um, yeah, very, very disappointed with that, especially because this was a bipartisan uh, bill that had bipartisan support and only got 12 Republican votes here on a life saving prescription drug bill. Yeah, so you can see here the House of Representatives yesterday passed a legislation to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month. Remember that insulin can cost anywhere from multiple $100s a month to over $1,000 a month, depending on how much you take and what kind, for millions of people. A move that would significantly lower the price of the life saving prescription drug for more than 7 million diabetes patients. The bill passed on a mostly party line vote, 232 to 193. The measure was authored by 3 House Democrats facing competitive reelection races this fall. Under the bill, Medicare beneficiaries would pay no more than $35 for each 30-day insulin prescription. Cost sharing for benefits in private plans would be limited to the lesser of either $35 or 25% of the health plan's negotiated price for a 30-day prescription. The insulin cap was originally part of the sweeping health reforms Democrats Build Back Better legislation, including limited Medicare drug prescription or negotiation. But Senator Joe Manchin's opposition to the legislation put the Build Back Better bill on ice, but he has now said he's in negotiations for a new version of the bill. Quote, make no mistake, I continue to strongly support comprehensive efforts to rein in the soaring cost of prescription drugs and empowering Medicare to negotiate fair prices. But we cannot afford to wait any longer to address the price of insulin, said Representative Frank Pallone from New Jersey, said on the House floor Thursday. Quote, far too many Americans are struggling to afford this drug, and it is time for Congress to say enough is enough. But while it would save consumers thousands of dollars at the pharmacy, the bill does not lower the overall price of insulin and does not solve the problems of skyrocketing drug prices. Instead, it would shift more of the cost onto insurers and employers. Um, that's interesting that they say that there. Um, but I mean, in the end, it would save consumers thousands of dollars. There is another bill. See, it'll be interesting to see if this passes the Senate or if they have to go with another bill. House Republicans latched onto that idea, accusing Democrats of socialist price controls that would allow pharmacy benefit managers to hide savings from patients. I mean, if it's capped at $35 a month, I mean, how are we hiding the savings? They're only paying $35 a month, right? That's better than thousands of dollars a month, which people can't afford. Um, they did not hide. They did not fault manufacturers for setting the high list prices. Bipartisan congressional investigators have faulted both pharmacy benefit managers and drug companies for the soaring price of insulin. Insulin has long been targeted by lawmakers as an example of the broken incentives in the U.S. health system. The drug hasn't changed much since it was first discovered more than 100 years ago, as a newer form of the drug has been introduced and the prices climbed. Another bill from Senator Raphael Warnock would also implement an out of pocket cap on insulin at $35 a month. So there's another bill that's there's all they need to do is pass one of these bills to help people. But in an effort to gain Republican support, it may be combined with another bipartisan legislation from Democrat Jean Shaheen and Republican Susan Collins from Maine. She's been doing a lot of work from the Republican side to try to help people, which is really all that matters, to seek to lower the underlying cost of insulin through a yet to be defined process. So yeah, two major bills passed in the House. One has a very high likelihood to pass in the Senate. One may struggle in the Senate, but we eventually might see something passed in the Senate with lower prescription drugs, starting with insulin. But we also need to see all prescription drugs passed, which was originally in the Build Back Better package. Um, Let me know your thoughts on this because over 100 or maybe even over 150 million Americans take prescriptions, and lowering the cost of them altogether, we pay more than double for pretty much almost every single prescription than any other country in the world. So it's very, very expensive when it comes to insurance premiums, Medicare premiums, the cost of prescriptions, the cost of deductibles, the cost of every type of prescription here is way more than other countries pay. And for the exact same prescriptions. When you take insulin, you take inhalers, you take blood pressure medicines. Those exact same prescriptions are sold in other countries like Canada, Mexico, the United Kingdom, Europe. The exact same prescriptions sold by the exact same manufacturers for a fraction of the cost. Exactly the same, exact same manufacturers, yet just sold for way less. This is part of the problem. The problem is Democrats and Republicans are just bickering for years and years and years, and we just keep paying more money. And even if you have like a really good insurance plan, you're paying for it in your premiums, your monthly premiums that continue to skyrocket. Medicare Part B premiums continue to skyrocket. One way or another, Americans are paying for it. So, yeah, something needs to be done. And then there's so many people out there that can't even afford things like insulin, and people are dying because of it. So I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country that you need to know about. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Make sure to subscribe down below. I'll link you to two important videos that we just did. This video is the video where we just did the $1,000 giveaway. You can see the winners and the details about that item right there. And this video is details about the $1,341 Social Security raise, the Social Security 2100 Act that could be coming out. I did a in-depth video on that here. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.